Hey folks, Robbie Payne with Chrome Unboxed, coming at you today with a review of the LG Chromebase. Now those of you who are subscribed to the channel, you've seen the unboxing of the Chromebase quite a few weeks ago, and actually I'm at the point where I've got to get this guy sent back immediately. And the reason I've kind of put this one off is because my usage of this device has been a little bit hit and miss. It's at home for me, it's not at the office where I work, so we've honestly used it as a home computing device. And I'll say this off the bat, it's caused me to actually reconsider whether or not I was going to return it and think about actually just buying it and keeping it for the house. And we'll get into why that is here in just a few minutes. I want to go over the specs of it. This is a little bit more of a difficult thing to video because of the nature of the product. So I'm going to try to spin the guy around here and show you some ports and stuff. First off, you get a 22-inch HD IPS screen. Fantastic looking, colors are really good. Viewing angles from top, bottom, left, and right look fantastic. It never really loses much of its color or anything at all from any angle. So it's beautiful for viewing media on. Everything looks nice and crisp. And if you watch my review of the Chromebook 2 from Samsung, Samsung crams a 1080p screen onto that Chromebook, but it's at 13.3 inches, which causes the scale to be a little weird. Text is kind of small, all your icons are kind of small. 1080p stretched across 22 inches is perfect. It's absolutely gorgeous. Everything renders really beautifully. Things just look really awesome. And the screen is quite bright. You can kind of tell in the review everything looks dark around the screen. I assure you it actually isn't dark. However, the screen is putting off a lot of light, so it does well in those environments. Along with the device at that $350 price point, you get a front-facing camera, which does pretty good. I have a decently dark room in here. It's not the brightest thing in the world, and it did quite well. I can actually show that to you real quick. And you can see, like I said, there's the camera, guitar on the wall, that kind of stuff. Like I said, this is a decently dimly lit room. It's a little grainy. 720p cameras tend to be that way, but it will do you just fine in a chat situation. It also has built-in speakers, and again, the entire Chrome, everything is built right into the monitor, so it's just one piece here. The inbuilt speakers are so-so. They're like laptop speakers. They didn't really do a very good job with that, but again, $350. Let's be careful what we're asking for here. Alongside the front here, we also have just a kind of really standard, cheap laser mouse, but nothing fancy here. 2 buttons and a scroll wheel. It did its job. I prefer a trackpad, especially with Chrome OS and the gestures, but it does the job just fine. And the keyboard is actually really quiet, really good actions on the keys. I wish they were wireless, but again, we come back to that. Price point makes a difference here. I'm going to attempt to spin this guy around on the desk here, and you'll see where we start getting into some of this wire clutter, and well, that's just the nature of having a wired desktop style device, right? Around the back, you can kind of see the thing's designed well. So in use cases like hotel lobbies or in a business area or something like that, the thing just looks nice. It looks really pretty. It has a clasp back here to put those cords into. I never bothered with that. It's sitting on my desk. We have the Hdmi Input, which is very interesting because this, as I mentioned in the unboxing, can act just as a monitor. So you could have your Windows PC hooked into it. I did that for a little bit, and again, I haven't used my PC. It's sitting down there collecting dust. It's not turned on. But if I were going to keep this, that's something I would have on tap. You can hit the Chrome button on the front. It actually flips the input, and it'll just bring up your Windows PC. And so this could be a $350 monitor plus Chrome OS. So that could be a cool thing. We've got a few USBs here. I believe there's some on the side. Yeah, there's one more over here. And from the looks of it, all of them look like USB 2.0. So if you're looking for a 3.0 solution here, I think you might be out of luck. We actually have an Ethernet port here, again, which makes this nice for lobbies, hotel rooms, that kind of stuff. Hardwiring is possible. And then your power jack. Along the side, you have your earphone jack. I have that hooked into my my desktop speakers here, little Sony speakers. And so that's about it as far as from a hardware perspective. I wanted to comment more on usage because internally, guys, this is the same thing that we see in every Chromebook almost that's out right now. It's the Haswell class Celeron processor 2995U. It is 2 gigs of RAM. It's 16 gigs internal memory. I've seen some stuff online where people have cracked open and changed those things. but it's not easy, and so I would not recommend that. Hopefully they'll come out with one that at least gives a slot to upgrade this stuff, or some different options or something like that. One other thing I found kind of cool is the buttons up here on the front. So if we go to menu, these are actually just little capacitive buttons across the front here. So no clicking, none of that stuff, which is kind of nice. That's a nice touch. And like I said before, if you hit the Chrome button, I don't have anything hooked into it right now, it would flip over to whatever you have coming in on that HDMI. So even if you have a television or something like that, you could have something else, anything HDMI coming into that, and then you hit that back and you're right back into your Chrome desktop. It's a nice touch. I think it's a great gap device for some people that are looking for a really nice monitor, because it is that. It's a nice monitor with a webcam built in, and speakers, good or bad, and you know, a couple peripherals for 350 bucks. I mean, you're going to spend $150 to $200 on a nice monitor like this. I just got a really good deal for about I think it was $130, $140 on a 23-inch 1080p display, but it was on sale, on a big cut sale, and the sale was gonna go away, and it was gonna go back up to $200. And so if 200 bucks is kind of the going rate, 230, 240 for a monitor like this, for 100 bucks more, you're getting some accessories and you're getting a desktop Chrome OS environment, so you don't always have to jump into Windows. For our family, we all use Chromebooks anyway. It's been a really nice device to have sitting here. Whether we need to print some things up, I've had to design a few things, look at some photos online. I sat with my daughter the other night. She's just discovered the Anograph 3D, you know, the red blue 3D glasses, and so we looked up a bunch of 3D pictures and saw on this big, nice, sharp display. It looked really awesome. I worked from home a couple days on this device, and so having this at the desktop and not having to hook anything else in, it's just there and ready. There's been a couple times where I've just needed to look up something really quickly, and instead of going to my bag and pulling my Chromebook out, opening up, and granted it's open, ready to go, my phone wasn't close, I just plopped down, wiggle the mouse, boom, we're ready to go, and I'm jumping online. So it really has given me a couple second pauses of thinking, you know, I kind of want to keep this thing here. But honestly, again, we have 3 Chromebooks in the house already, and then I'm constantly rotating ones out for review units, and so it seemed like a little overkill for us just because of that particular dynamic in our family. But overall, I highly recommend the LG Chromebase. If you're looking for things for business where these things are just setting in a classroom scenario, in a computer lab, in a business office, in a hotel, out front in a hotel, heck, in a hotel room. I mean, the limitlessness of this device is pretty astronomical. I've just been really impressed by it. And again, it runs